Hi, everybody. We're officially back. It's Dr. Scott and Dr. Shiloh. Dr. Shiloh is very remote today.
I'm very remote today, and I want to tell you so this is the first time I have traveled during COVID, and it has absolutely fallen in line with 2020. What we can all expect from 2020.
Really?
It's been an absolute shit show.
Oh my gosh.
So I left LA Friday morning at 6:15, and I flew to Salt Lake City, no problem. And then I had a stop in Detroit, and my plane got delayed until this morning at 7:00. And so they put me up in a hotel, which was terrifying. I'm pretty sure a crime had occurred there.
It'll be like when that first episode, The Voyeur Motel.
Oh my God. I was like, I have to look under the beds because there's going to be a dead person under this bed. And I looked under the bed, and there was a pair of tennis shoes, but it kind of looked like someone was standing because it was at like the far end. But I knew there wasn't anyone there because I'm in the room. But like,
I'm sorry.
I hadn't even looked under the bed. There was a pair of tennis shoes. It was so gross.
Yeah.
And I just took a shower, and I basically couldn't even sleep because I was just so creeped out. Plus, the tweakers next door were awake and had their children watching cartoons until 3 a.m. So I finally got a flight this morning to LaGuardia, and I am in Montauk, New York right now. And I have a couple of special guests that are going to be joining me in a moment. So that's why it looks like this. I'm on an iPad. I hope everything's coming through okay. And I'm very excited for Behind the Couch tonight.
Well, I'm glad you made it. It's I hear mixed things. Like I hear some people talk about traveling, and it's great. And then I've heard 2 nightmare stories about people on flights with people that have been just refusing to wear a mask. And it's interesting because Delta just announced last night that they've added 638 people to their no-fly list because they were so belligerent and non-cooperative. And they're like, you can believe whatever you believe, but you're not flying Delta anymore.
Good. That's who I flew with. And I love Delta. And with all of the delays, it was weather. And then the pilots couldn't work any more hours. And then finally, it was just like no more flights to New York. And I tweeted at them. Some people may have seen that. And they actually gave me $200 in credit. So I got some attention and got something for it. But it's been rough. I have not had sleep in over 24 hours. So here I am.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like Dan was doing, if anybody out there saw the Netflix/television version of The Mist, the Stephen King novella that was made into a movie. They readapted it to a television series several years back. And my husband, Dan, was the production designer on it. And they filmed in this beautiful place I had been to like 35 years ago, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful seaside community, but it takes freaking forever to get there. It's like 3 connecting flights, and I missed every one. So like it was like one of those 24 to 28 hour trips where I get there and I'm fried for 2 days just trying to recover.
Like,
from the
not
traveling.
only could I have flown to London and back in the time that I've been traveling, but I feel like it. Like, when you get to Europe and you're just like so exhausted, but you have to stay awake, and you're like, okay, just go do something, like go walk around, and just to like try and get on there. It's been crazy. And then I have another funny story. I'll wait till the girls get here to tell you. But I also, did you see my new shirt, Scott?
Oh,
Just
cool.
here for the chat room.
I like it.
That's my new Get Vocal shirt. I think I'm actually gonna put a shirt like this on our merch store.
That's great.
If people are interested, let me know. I think it's fun because chat room, that's where it's at, right?
Oh my gosh, Adrian in the chat is saying I flew to Iraq and Afghanistan. It was about 24 hours, so grueling. Yeah. Well, and you're also not flying in the most comfortable airlines. Was that Army transport?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everybody got a chance to listen this week, but we started our basically started an episode. I gave an episode that really is the beginning of a conversation about the Disney parks and the number of scandals and crimes around Disney and Disney named entities. And it's a lot, but we framed it coming out of the show that given the unbelievable millions of people that go through Disney parks every year, it's statistically impossible. And it doesn't necessarily, it's actually not even indicative that it's more problematic. In fact, it probably indicates that you're safer there than anywhere else. And I do remember, one of the last times we were there together, Shiloh, I think it was right after we had done a training or something. And we were talking going, this would be a prime target. Like if somebody wanted to hit what was ostensibly the heart of America, like that would be the place to go to. But I also, in reading this great book, which I showed during the podcast, Mouse Tales, this is a book. It's about 25 years old. You can get it on Amazon. It's a fantastic book written by a former cast member talking about all sorts of background and gossip and what they have to put up with working in those kind of positions. And it's fascinating stuff. And, the security there is spectacular.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward when it opens again. I think
it would be very hard to enact some sort of violence. But I know when I was working at the police department and I was the terrorism liaison officer, we would talk about hard targets and soft targets for terrorists. And hard targets are those that have a pretty good security system and therefore are hard to infiltrate. And Disney fell under that category. But I think if someone was able to pull it off, it would, like you're saying, absolutely destroy an innocence and destroy what we think of as a safe, fun family place. It would really wound us. And that's what they aim to do. So it's scary to think that. This is such taking you back to sort of my growing up in northern Alabama. I grew up in a town called Huntsville, which is known as, the nickname is Rocket City, USA, because so much of the space industry and NASA and has been there for decades, and including they continue to have the space station monitoring. So some very dear friends of mine have had their entire careers communicating with outer space, which is the coolest thing ever. But I remember us being in elementary school and talking about, and this was, at the end of the Cold War, it's like, well, if we get, Huntsville's going to get bombed. The other people, kids that had just moved there, were like, no, Tampa's going to get bombed because just this weird childlike arguing. Let's not fight about that. Yeah. Right. We're so important. It should be us.
Oh, Tegan, thanks for letting us know, Tegan. Dr. Shiloh usually handles all of the announcements and everything, which I'm not great at. And something's going wrong today with the Facebook. I'm supposed to be simulcasting on Facebook, but it's not working.
That's okay.
Shiloh, do you know how I do that?
You go into the settings and you push manage. I can't think of it. Something about manage notifications or something. And then it should be on there, but I think you have
manage
to do
simulcasting.
Yeah, there you go. And don't.
Oh yeah, it wants me to navigate away. I'm not going to do it.
It's okay. No worries. This will be on YouTube as always in a few days. So
do a link.
So I've seen some interesting reactions to the Disney episode. A lot of people are like, I hate that Disney owns so much and has acquired so much. It's like they're in everything. And then also the angle, because of that, like all of the marketing, like you can't escape Disney. And I kind of saw this when raising a daughter who's now 8, that, everything is being marketed from the different channels and all the stuff. And, here, buy this princess outfit and buy this. It's a lot. I mean, if your kid is not into Disney, that's pretty deliberate on parents' part, I think.
And we think about today, like looking at the larger picture, just from a financial sense of like Anaheim, particularly Anaheim more so than Orlando, because Orlando has a lot of other industries going on being in the location it is. But Anaheim has built its, a huge part of its income and services through the profits that Disney makes, including all the surrounding hotels, all of the other attractions, and that's been down for 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
They are opening the main street in California Adventure next week, I think. So I just saw the alert today. So you can shop and dine, just like they kind of have downtown Disney open.
yeah,
But I think they've got to do something because there's never been a closure like this for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they took 9/11, they closed down, and that was like it.
yeah.
So this is
Yeah,
this is huge for them.
Abby Blackbird just said Anna crime. Yeah, there's actually a lot of crime down there. And then Adrian, I remember saying it has the highest concentration of PhDs already. Yeah, it does. You know, the Imagineers, and actually, well, I mean, a lot of, you know, they have do a lot of the work for the parks. Also, there's a huge building down there, but there's also one in Burbank that's sort of the crossover between some of the park activities and the and their entertainment center.
I think he was talking about Huntsville having that high concentration.
Oh, Huntsville.
That you
Yeah, it's kind of, Huntsville's crazy. Huntsville is like amazing with the brain center that's there, and incredibly diverse. Even growing up, like way more diverse than a lot of other southern towns that I came to be exposed to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, do you want to do a couple more Disney stories, crime stories?
Sure.
Okay, I will start with mine. Let me open it up here. So these are ones that we had down, but we didn't get to in the episode because, as you guys know, we're a little bit chatty. So this is about the still unsolved murder of Yale Gracie, who is like the guy when we're talking about early Imagineering at Disney. So he's a Disney legend. He joined the company in 1939, and he started out doing like art layouts for Pinocchio, Fantasia. And then in 1961, he started as one of the first Imagineers. I don't even think they called them Imagineers back then, like designing special effects guys on all of our favorite Disneyland rides. So the Haunted Mansion, he was responsible for the original Hatbox Ghost, not Hotbox Ghost. That's a different thing.
That'd be a different, because if you hotbox, you are going to see a ghost, whether you want to or not.
And Pirates of the Caribbean, he's responsible for the effects of like the burning city, which I've always thought was like so cool. He also developed the technology that when you're on Space Mountain kind of blocks out the fact that there's like roller coaster track everywhere around you, and all you see is this appearance of just being in a galaxy and stars. So if you guys have ever been on Space Mountain and it's gotten stuck and they've had to turn the lights on, it's the craziest thing.
It's so cool. Yeah, like Dan, it actually made our trip, because Dan and I are such roller coaster freaks, and we love Space Mountain so much, and it broke down, and it was the coolest thing because the darkness is how they create the illusion of being in this enormous, and once it turns on, you realize, oh, this space is actually really small, and you're not even really going that fast. It's all the illusion, but God, it's so much fun.
It actually, that happened to me once too, but it totally freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, everything's so close. Like I put my arms up, I'm gonna get my arms chopped off. It feels like, you know, the tracks are just right there.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're in the dark, you just don't know. But
I mean, I think you'd have to be somebody tall with extremely long arms to have that happen to you. And then if you do that, you're kind of a dumbass. Like, I don't know. What a great story.
Hey, buddy, you have long arms.
What happened to your fingers? Oh, I was on Space Mountain.
I was extending them like jazz hands.
Yeah. So Adrian says they still haven't found the original Hatbox Ghost figure. Yeah, that's some really cool trivia.
That's right.
Because my understanding is they could never make the Hatbox Ghost work in the original incarnation. But I'll tell you, the current one is unbelievable. Like, it's all black art, you know, which is sort of using empty black space, like light absorbing materials, like they used back in the Victorian era. Magicians who did black art was all these amazing illusions that came with a black background that would sort of disguise a lot of the special effects.
Yeah, he's very cool. If I ever get a Disney tattoo, it might very well be Hatbox Ghost.
Oh, cool. Adam says, living in New Zealand, we have nothing like that here. Don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'm like, that's interesting because having one of like the high point of my entertainment career post performing was working as a DVD producer, and I worked on all the Lord of the Rings movies, and it crushed me that I was not part of the B team that got to go and do B-roll down there during the shooting. But I mean, that's some stunning landscape. That is some stunning landscape.
That is their legacy. So Yale Gracie, if you guys have seen the movie Haunted Mansion, the one with Eddie Murphy, the sort of the man of the house, his name is Master Gracie. So they actually named that character in the movie after this special effects engineer. And then in the graveyard at Disneyland at the Haunted Mansion, there is a tombstone dedicated to him. And it says, Master Gracie laid to rest, no mourning please at his request. So there's a bunch of tombstones out there. A lot of them have been dedicated to people who have worked for Disney at some point or another. But he's kind of this presence of the Haunted Mansion because he did so much landmark work there. What was really cool in my research that I found is that he even revealed his own ghost story experience from childhood to another Imagineer that he worked closely with. And he said that he and his family would go to the East Coast and stay with some cousins, and all the cousins would stay up late. And they swore that an old lady would come out of the closet and read stories to them. And they never told their parents because she was really nice and they didn't want her to go away. And so they never said anything to any of the adults, but he was about 10 years old when that happened.
That is so cool.
That is very cool.
I don't know if we talked about it during the broadcast, but if there's anybody out there that has not seen the original Haunting movie, which is a film adaptation of Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. It's just called The Haunting. It's an amazing movie, and many elements of the Haunted Mansion are based on the production design of that movie.
Sorry, there's some people here. I might have to introduce them.
Yay!
I have Rebecca Sebastian.
Oh, she's going to the lower level.
And Michelle Kazuba. We are having a girls' weekend.
I'm so excited. Like 3 of my favorite people.
I know.
What a blast.
These girls are amazing. Shannon says hi, guys.
Hi, Shannon. We just saw a deer, a mom, and a baby.
Oh.
I know, we saw it on my way back too. There's a mom and a baby outside of
they're
the store.
delicious, by the way.
Venison is amazing.
Venison.
Don't talk about our baby.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
I'm in the middle of a story.
Okay. We're just going to
So, Mr. Gracie retired from Disney in 1975. Oh, Scott's pouring more drinks for everybody. So on September 5th, 1983, he was 73 years old, and he and his wife, Beverly, had been staying overnight at the Bel Air Bay Club, which is in Malibu. It's not in Bel Air, along PCH. And it's a club where you can go, like they have weddings and things like that. And you can own different cabanas, and they're actually more like little villas, like more of like be a hotel room that opens up right onto the water. But they were members, and they often stayed there on weekends. In his retirement, at around 2:30 in the morning, another club member reported hearing gunshots, and Yale Gracie was killed, but his wife, she was injured, but she lived. And she said that a burglar had entered their room, shot her husband to death, and the man had basically fled on the beach. So this is like right on the beach. The suspect was a man in his 50s. He was armed with a small handgun, and he had a dog with him. Maybe it was the gravestone keeper from the Haunted Mansion. Remember, he has that like skinny dog. No motive was determined. There were no suspects. Nothing was actually taken. So they say it's a burglary. I mean, technically a burglary in California is just entering a dwelling to commit, to have the intent to commit a felony. You don't have to actually steal something for it to be a burglary. But they don't know if it was random or if he was targeted for some reason. Because if nothing was stolen, they think, they speculate, was he targeted? Or is this, it was sort of hypothesized that maybe it was a transient that came in off the beach and then kind of freaked out once he shot this husband and wife and then fled. He had a dog with him, so I think that's why people think maybe he had been a transient living along the beach. So it is still unsolved to this day. There have been no leads. It completely went cold really, really quick. There weren't enemies, so to speak, of Mr. Gracie, so it really fell off that this was like some sort of hit. So it seems to be this very strange random attack in this very exclusive
And
place.
what year was that?
That was in the 80s, 83.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah. And the Bel Air Bay Club still exists to this day. It's part of it is actually up above PCH, and that's like this big mansion where you can have weddings. It's like a venue. And then is PCH, and then the cabanas are right along the sand on the ocean. So yeah, that's the unsolved murder of V.L. Gracie. I had one other sort of creepy, sort of related fact that relates to the haunted mansion in Paris, which is called Phantom Manor, right?
It's so cool.
You've been there, Scott.
Yeah, it's based on the American
cool?
West. It's sort of like you're going into sort of like an Old West haunted house, and then when you fly out the window, or when you go out the attic window and fly, you're going through like Tombstone, Arizona. So it's like a desert graveyard.
In Paris?
Yeah,
why do they have
because
that?
Because the Europeans think, I mean, they think very much of American in terms of like Hollywood westerns, or at least they did when they were doing this. It's a great idea. All of them are different around the parts. Yeah.
Well, in 2016, a dead body was actually found inside of the Phantom Manor. It turned out that it was a technician that had been working on some electronics before the park had opened. He was 45 years old. He was a cast member who'd been there for a really long time. And they say that, he was electrocuted just doing some regular work. So.
I just wanted to comment, Shannon.
But kind of creepy.
Yeah, Shannon says deserts are terrifying. It's funny. To me, having grown up in the South, in the mountains and forests, like to me, like you can have a scary mountain scene, you can have a scary forest scene, but deserts to me, that sort of open vista where you still feel oppressed and anything could jump on you. Yeah, I think deserts are terrifying. So I
love deserts. They're my happy place.
Okay. So I wanted to share something that I witnessed at a park one time that was almost the commission of a crime, which was going on Space Mountain. And Dan and I think we were like running fast past. We had already done it a couple of times. It was a slow day at the park, and we're in our car, and we're pulling. You load into your car, and then you go to like a few feet forward, and you stop, and then you turn, and you go up the ramp, and suddenly our car jams to a stop. And all these people rush over, and they're all like in their sort of Space Mountain uniforms. And Disney employees are super friendly, but there was a look on their face that was really serious. And everybody's like craning, kind of going, well, what's going on down there? So they open up the safety ramps, like the bars that kind of come a little across your waist. And one of them reaches over and pulls an infant from a woman. This woman had somehow sequestered her infant child on her person while she was getting into, and the security camera caught it. And they were like, you could tell they were like so tight-lipped, like just, trying to get her off the car. But I've never felt such a wave of anger collectively from like an entire room of people. Like everybody was like, how freaking stupid do you have to be?
Did you guys like boo her out of there?
No, I mean, we should have publicly shamed her.
Jeez.
But
yeah, of course, with the bell, shame. Shame, right, Shannon?
So the other thing that's a big deal that has recently been addressed and had not been addressed for many years is every place across the U.S. has agencies that basically are some form of acronym. Ours here, for child protection, ours here in Southern California is DCFS, Department of Child and Family Services, and there's an 800 number. You call it, and you make a report, and they're on it. They may use if it's an emergency situation, they'll swoop in with police. But what the DCFS reports that were made by a park employee is they were realizing that there were a lot of unwatched, unaccompanied children in the park on a daily basis all summer long. And it turned out that local Anaheim parents were buying annual passes for their kids, dropping them off in the morning with $30 or a handful of cash to buy food, and they would leave them there the entire day at the park. And it wasn't just one or two, it was about 50 different families. And it's interesting how Disney, it was a big thing in the news for about 2 days, and then it all disappeared. So I'm sure Disney, in their almost infinite resources and control of the media, were able to go, we need to make sure this doesn't happen, but we also need to make sure that it doesn't get advertised as an option for people to try and take advantage of. So, that's...
Oh my God. It probably was still cheaper than childcare.
Oh, of course.
Of
course. And, okay, playing devil's advocate, probably one of the safest places to be. Probably.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to know the age.
Yeah, one of them was I think one of them was 8 or 9 years old. So way too young to be on their own. Just as Shannon goes, that sounds like a fantastic idea. So there was another, this is okay. So I want to prepare everybody that this is I'm going to broach I'm giving you a trigger warning because this is a particularly creative yet disturbing and controversial thing that happened as well, is that Disney has so many sort of pirate, and I don't mean Pirates of the Caribbean, I mean people they build careers around Disney. And one of them that is a local thing that was happening for years at Disney is that people with medical and disabled notifications, people that had physical disabilities, would sell themselves on Craigslist as tour guides that would then be able to walk you to the front of rides over and over again, because them being a disabled person, and they were making bank, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Yeah, it's genius, but it was also completely unfair. This one person is now ushering a family of 6 over and over again on Space Mountain or any ride they want to.
Right.
So, it's completely clever, but
wow.
Come on.
Yes. I think we know somebody who used to work the system different than that.
He doesn't do it anymore, but it was pretty creative.
No,
but
he does not.
He shall go remain nameless. But I did want to run by a couple of other historical things that were fascinating about things that have happened at Disney World and Disneyland. There have been major hostage situations. One of the most prominent ones was in 1992. A 37-year-old man got into the park in Disney World after it was closed and demanded to speak to his girlfriend, who was an employee. And it was a separation, child custody issue as far as the couple was concerned. And he was not able to get to his girlfriend because the guards were trying to commandeer him into an area and close him off. And he was fully armed, and he took 2 of the guards into a hostage situation, into a restroom. And they did a long standoff trying to talk him down, de-escalate the situation. And he, after a brief discussion with the law enforcement, he shot himself. So that was a major one in 1992. And then in Anaheim in 2000, there was almost an exact replay, but here on the West Coast of the same thing. demanding to see his wife and kids, and shot a law enforcement officer. Yeah,
Wow,
and one of the
really?
biggest ones was a case of child abuse from a foreign national. An Italian doctor was at Disneyland with two of his children and his wife, and he was witnessed by many people. He had been belligerent all day, and yelling at his family in Italian, and he got impatient with his 3-year-old and kicked the kid in the face. And immediately parents get very protective, and they jumped on it, and park security jumped on it. And his excuse was that he was not trying to kick his 3-year-old. He was trying to kick his 9-year-old because the 9-year-old had turned over the stroller. So
that's not.
It
a
really
great
isn't.
defense.
It really
Michelle?
isn't.
No. Michelle objects to that.
And then there's another. I mean, I can wax eloquently or gush about many of the things that I love about Disney. One of them is I don't care how many times I've seen a particular parade. Their parades are fantastic. It's great music. It's great choreography. It's just really well done. And then also, so people line up. It's like, oh, there's a parade at 3:00. Starting about 1:30, everybody starts gathering on the streets or sitting down on the curb so that they can get their preferred seat. So the same thing happens at the night for the phenomenal fireworks they do every night during the summer. I mean, their fireworks are just massively unbelievable. And
yeah, to get a good spot means you're going to get a really good show. I mean, you can get an okay
right.
show from different points in the park, but
we've even gone to, like, if we know we're parking at the top of the 10-story parking structure, we'll like eat our last meal, take off, and sit and watch it from there, which is amazing as well. But all of it's done by, it's all timed with music. It's really amazing. But there was people start arguing about, like, you're blocking my space, you're blocking my view of the fireworks. And a 41-year-old woman in 2017 attacked a female high schooler for blocking her view of the fireworks, and literally grabbed her by the throat, threatened her, punched her, and got her to the ground. But by the time they got her to the ground, they were able to get security over. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Oh my God. I think I saw a little bit of that behavior at the airport last night when we got delayed yet again. Some people were screaming about their luggage, and it was about to feel ugly.
Abby, hello.
Hi, Abby.
Yeah.
So Abby grew up in Orange. Orange,
My
California,
parents, like, their office was like
Florida.
on, what is it? I think Catella, like right, like it's like on the left side was the Angel Stadium, the right side was Honda Center. So like I just went there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
My first tattoo actually was I think it's the left, I don't know which side. There's some Mickey Mouse ears somewhere.
Yep. So did you have passes and just go there all the time? Did your parents ever drop you off when you were 8?
No, not that.
Don't traumatize our guest, Dr. Shala.
I don't think so.
I'm helping her live through it again. Work through it.
No. I mean, I did a lot of birthdays.
So what do you think of Disney? I mean,
what were you saying?
Are you a lifelong fan?
Well, so you said to wear your
Disney
Disney swag. So my mom got me this shirt.
Yay!
And then I got these pants from when I was there for the 50th anniversary.
Okay.
It was freezing. It was so cold there that day, and I just did not plan ahead.
Oh, I got to tell you, Abby, our
time.
favorite days are when it's rainy and cold. Like
it's my favorite day.
It's the best because everybody like grabs their kids and goes to the hotel, and then you have free reign in the park. It's awesome.
Go on Splash Mountain when it's raining.
Yep.
It's the best experience ever. Oh man,
good time. Do you have any weird stories from Disneyland? Or
I mean, I like because I've had passes like throughout my
experiences?
childhood, and then like obviously things kind of got expensive, and then when I was out of high school, I started going all the time. But I mean, because like I am involved in like social clubs, like the people that wear all the back patches and stuff. So like, I mean,
explain what that is.
So it's a lot. And it's so funny because my story is so funny. Like, long story short, there's a cast member, and I was wearing my R2D2 hat, and like I was wearing like I love R2D2, so I was just like wearing a bunch of R2D2 stuff, and so anyways, the guy was like, oh, like, do you know what Social Club is? And so he was kind of explaining it. It's pretty much people that wear back patches like Sons of Anarchy-esque, but like,
it's all Disney related.
Like go to Disneyland, so take that whether you will. And so there was like the Star Wars themed. And then, and it's so weird because I've dealt with so much dumb drama. I mean, I haven't personally, but somehow there's just always drama. So it's kind of funny, like you guys said, like maybe they're trying to filter some like childhood, like it really is like high school all over again sometimes. And I'm just
and it seems to be that there's like a very clear line between the people that are like super, this is going to be my happy place and I'm going to have fun. And then there are other ones that get really dramatic. I mean, I'm part of several Facebook Disney groups, which are totally fun. One is Vintage Disney, and one is like, it's called Twisted Disney, and it's for adults only. Like, it's really funny, some of the things they post. But there was like this whole controversy of this guy in Anaheim who runs a pirated Disney insignia, and that like he makes the patches and the T-shirts for these social clubs, but rips everybody off. We'll take like thousands of dollars from these clubs, in the orders. And so they're all like kind of doxing him. And I mean, it's kind of crazy being on the outside of that.
My boyfriend is currently a part of $1 million lawsuit against a club and Disney and Kaiser, and it's all bad and it's just gross. Long story short, there's a podcast. I won't even say what it is because don't need it. It's a mess.
It's layers of Disney drama upon
drama. Because it's all intertwined. So like, because like they would start like stuff would happen, reality TV show, you throw in a bomb and you throw in another bomb. Like it was that, but like real life and real people. Thank God. I like watching and I stay away and I know what's going on, but I'm not involved. That's how I am with everything.
Wow.
But, long story short, just kind of like a weird situation was happening with somebody that shouldn't have been talking to a girl that's not 18, and just super fishy character. And then now he's claiming defamation and that Kaiser released like medical records, and it's just this whole like literally mess. So I've helped fundraise for all that stuff too. So that's been over like I've lived in Vegas for 5 years now.
But Abby, that brings up a really one of the more complex issues around Disney and many theme parks is that when we've talked about, and I'm obviously clearly this is no reflection on your friend, but there are jobs that people gravitate to if they want access to minors. And one of the stories I tell, I've reported it. I mean, or I've talked about this in our previous episodes. But when Shiloh and I met years ago and started working with the sex offense population, you're immersed in it. Like we're working hours every day, 5 days a week, and you just start to get this sixth sense for the people that are pedophilically oriented. And, I remember going to a show on Broadway that was the musical version of Billy Elliot. And when the lights come up at break, I was like, oh, there's sort of this, you got a feeling for it. And then it transferred over, it generalized into going to theme parks and, some of the ride operators or some of the, like, there's plenty of people that go down there as singles.
They had a whole bus not too long ago at Walt Disney World, didn't they? Like with just.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on YouTube and it's just, it's every single week. This person's talking to this underage person. This person's talking to this underage person. It's just like, it never ends. Like,
one of the sex offender clinics that I worked at was in Orange County. And so a lot of our population, especially because after people get imprisoned and when they come back out, generally, they don't have any source of income. They've lost everything. they go back to live with family. So they were going back to live with parents or family back in the area
created and allowed the situation in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there was like enabling going on, but they were essentially, I was treating people who had grown up in Orange County when I was working in Orange County. And it's like, what would you say, Abby? Like maybe 7 out of 10 people who live sort of centric to Anaheim worked for Disney at some point in their life. You know, there a lot of them are being employed by Disneyland or the hotels. I mean, it's huge.
It actually explains it in a way that I really did not understand. Like it's that starting like that, the quality of the work and the quality of your supervision and the quality of your coworkers was so good that people would take those jobs over other ones because it's like, okay, the pay is only slightly better, but this is a great opportunity. And then it ends up being your circle of friends is the people you work with, and you stay after and hang out for a little bit after work. And so suddenly,
it's its own cult-esque environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a subculture. Yeah. Yeah. But it was really interesting. I could usually go around in a group of the men that I was working with, and majority of them had worked at Disneyland at some point in their life. And so, you know, I was constantly weighing like, okay, is that because they live here and lots of people do that? Or like Scott was saying, are they seeking out jobs where they know they're gonna not necessarily have access to offend against kids, but to look at them all day long?
Because like I went to 3 different high schools, so I didn't really know too many people from high school that worked there. I think I knew one person that worked there at one point in time. Out of everyone, I think that again, like maybe one person from the last high school I went to, but I mean the culture there, it's like you either have a pass or you work there. So I guess I kind of could see that part of it too.
That makes sense. Yeah, and entire families. I mean, I've known where the husband, the wife, and the daughter, they all work there. And
brother's baby mama's dad was a retired firefighter at Disneyland. So you can go forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, most theme parks have their own fire department. Kind of a cool thing to do if you're gonna be a firefighter anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Go ahead.
No, we were gonna talk about a couple of the other things that were that had happened regarding, like, there's a couple of like major events that happened at Disneyland. One of them in 2014 was an enormous measles outbreak, which is riling in itself because this is the 21st century. There should not be measles outbreaks because you should fucking vaccinate your children. Wow. And there was an enormous measles outbreak that at least 127 cases had been traced to that Disneyland outbreak. And there was, what was one of the other things that happened? Oh, one of the sad things that in 1979, a 31-year-old woman was riding Space Mountain and she started feeling ill. And she wanted to, I don't know if she was misunderstood, but they couldn't get her out of the car and it kept running because other operators didn't realize that she was trying to get out. So she basically stayed on the ride 3 or 4 times. And at the end of the 3rd time, she was dead. And they found out that she had actually had a tumor growing in her heart that got dislodged by Space Mountain, and it got into her brain. So like this little tumor got into her bloodstream. Yeah, it caused like a massive stroke. Speaking of, also another thing, if you have kidney stones, they tell you to go on roller coasters. So if you have a kidney stone, get really hydrated and go on the California Adventure Incredicoaster, and that will, I'm sure it will pass it. You'll be screaming in agony, but what a way to do it, right?
Oh yeah, I used to go between my college classes. I used to be like, I have time to go on a ride right now, and I just go and go hop on a ride real quick.
Scott, I hope you're not giving out official medical.
I'm not a medical doctor, although I play one on television.
You can't say that when you have birds.
Oh, Shiloh. You're so wise. I have such a crush on Shiloh.
You and your Snapchat.
This is eyeglasses.
Do you know there's Do you know there's a ghost on Space Mountain? He gets on the ride and sits next to the person, and then when they come back from the ride being over, he's gone.
I would pay to have that happen to me.
I did nothing.
I would love that.
Yeah. The same people see the same guy. Supposedly. This is not a paranormal podcast.
Yeah.
There's a great meme. There was a great meme going around. It's like, when I die, I want my remains to be scattered at Disneyland, but I don't want to be cremated.
No.
Oh my God.
He's like, ew.
Adrian just said it sounds like his
I don't
relationship.
I can't do dead people. I don't like graveyards. I don't like dead bodies. I don't like any of that. Like, I'm just not about it. But like anything like paranormal, and then like all those stories you hear about like people scattering ashes in haunted mansion. I'm just gonna pretend that's
they installed a lot of cameras. That does not happen as much as it used to. Because they had to. There were so many cremains. Cremains, you can't do that. Like, you can dispose of them in nature, but you can't in closed environments, because yes, it's dust, and most likely, but it's still bio remains, and there could be a hazard involved.
I'm opposite. I'll take a dead body over a ghost.
Oh, I love.
Oh my goodness. Do you have any stories, any other things that we didn't get to last time, Scott?
Well, there's just really interesting stuff about, even as late as 2016, when we were talking about celebration, about the planned community celebration that's outside of Disney World, that, even the most well-planned, and it's certainly if you're going to plan something or design something, have Disney do it, because they're pretty great. But there were so many contractors involved in the construction of this planned community that everything's falling apart. And there are even cases going on as late as 2016 from many of the condo owners about just really low-grade materials being used for construction and lots of leaking. And now it's also like, it's in Florida, so Florida is a difficult place to have to build for, because it has to withstand some pretty severe weather and moisture issues. But yeah, just a lot of that kind of stuff.
Well, wasn't there another homicide in Celebration?
Oh God, what was that?
Man, hang on.
That was that was more recent too.
No, because the one you talked about was just last year.
Oh,
this one was
okay.
From 2010. Hang on, let me bring up the article. See if I can do this.
Well, while you're doing that, I will talk about something else that happened. We talked in the broadcast, or in our podcast, about the Winnie the Pooh allegation that Winnie the Pooh had caused brain damage to a woman's child. And when turned into a court case, Winnie the Pooh came in costume, did a little jig, and showed that physically he would not be able to do that because his hands weren't at the right level to slap the child in the way that they described.
Michelle says she wants to see that.
Yeah, I will do it. I would pay to see that. Actually, that should be it.
Move his hand up like higher than not even like a 45-degree angle. Like, he can't move his arm up, unless he's just like doing like a helicopter around a kid trying to smack him. Like,
don't give me any ideas, Abby.
Look. If you're a kid and you're just being that way, like,
if you want to do it right,
your parents ain't watching you, then this sounds like somebody in parent behavior.
Right. So look, there's another one in 1976. There was a woman who sued Disney for $150,000, and she was claiming that that she was fondled by one of the three little pigs. It's a Small World. So, there's a lot of screening. Even getting a job as a face character there, and when we say face character, it's someone that either plays a role. Either they're wearing a head, or their face is exposed, but they're dressed as like Mary Poppins or Bert or any of those things. But you go through so much training and so much screening to even get those jobs. And just the likelihood of someone doing that is just really, really unlikely. So, and of course, Disney has unlimited funds and lots of shrewd lawyers. So they were able to go in front of the judge with like a cutaway of the Three Little Pigs alleged perpetrator and show that that it would be impossible for her to have been groped in the way that she was describing because of, and I love this term, the inoperable stub arms. So the arms weren't actually usable arms. So they were just like little flappy arms.
Shannon makes a great point that a lot of women have been fondled by pigs.
That part.
True. Shannon, you need to co-host Get Vocal with us, please. You have some amazing one-liners tonight, and I think it's because you missed a Get Vocal a couple times ago. You're trying to make up for it. Okay, I found this story. So this was in 2010, and it was the first homicide in Celebration, Florida. So a 58-year-old man who lived in Celebration was a retired teacher. He had a longtime love of all things Disney, of course. And he seemed to be counseling troubled youth at his home. I know. Yeah. And he had a 30-year-old male transient staying at his home. And 30-year-old is not a youth, but yeah, straight to. But the transient said that he woke up with the 58-year-old on top of him, attempting to sexually assault him, and that he thought he had been drugged prior to the assault. And so he bludgeoned this man.
So he's using the gay panic defense, right?
He is. So he not only bludgeoned him with an axe, but he also strangled him with a shoelace to ensure he was dead. So it sounds like a series of unfortunate events. I don't know what happened. This article is from the Daily Beast, and the perpetrator was still awaiting his trial. So that was the first one.
But he's still he's probably gone through trial by now, right? I would hope so. Like in 2010.
Yeah, I'm sure he has.
Well, there's also
slow, but I'm assuming.
It's interesting. I think the farther things go back, Shiloh and I have run into this problem, like when we've been researching certain things, and it's amazing how some of the vintage crimes we look at, there's been unbelievable paper trails going back to the 30s or the 20s. I mean, it's kind of amazing. And one of the things that I found in researching, recent stuff when it's very high profile or when there's a lot of money involved, is sometimes those stories just kind of disappear and you can't really follow the trail. One of the things that we talk about in wealthy communities here on the West Coast is like how the cities want to suppress any information about crime in their communities because so much of their livelihood is based on tourism. Santa Barbara is one of them. In Santa Barbara, I did my graduate studies there. It's a beautiful, beautiful oceanside community. I mean, it's just stunning. It is like Disneyland in itself in a way. Its main street is just unbelievably immaculate with wonderful shops and restaurants. And there are huge multi-million-dollar homes in the hills. Like Oprah has her home there, and many, many rich celebrities.
Oprah lives there.
People get attacked there all the time, and it's all buried. A guy I went to school with up there, didn't go to school with him. I worked with him and his girlfriend, and he was stabbed in the head by a homeless person. They never caught the guy. And unfortunately, he had really, really severe brain injuries that he's still dealing with today. But it's just one of those things to remember that when you're talking about a corporate entity in a contained environment with unlimited funds, they can definitely control the story to an extent. Now, there was something also at Thomas Alassi. Sure. Well, I won't say the name, but we got a great somebody who gotta bleep that. Jason, bleep that name. So anyway, we got reached out to by someone who had just discovered the podcast this week, who was a former Disney employee himself, and he wrote like a really wonderful email to us. So thank you. But he was talking about some of those examples too, and I was hoping he would jump on and share it with us, but I guess he didn't make it today. Maybe we can get him for another one.
Yeah. What were some
Let
of the
me go
examples that
back
he was talking
to
about?
that email
Do you
without saying
recall?
his name.
Do you recall? Do you ladies have any questions about the Disney episode while we're here?
We have thoughts.
You have
Oh,
thoughts?
here's one of the things. In the Haunted Mansion, they actually, you know, when they were buying props for the Haunted Mansion, some of the props were not so false as they were. They basically bought a real human skeleton that is still in one of the Haunted Mansions that's used. No, there was also a rumor. This is the thing he was talking about, and this is that, and I had heard this when I worked there years ago, is that no one is allowed to die on Disney property. That if you get hurt, that they need to drag you off property and not
Right.
pronounce you dead until you're off that property. And he said that it's been somewhat just debunked, but it's a neat little rumor. I think that's really fascinating because that was one of the sort of the cornerstone of the American Horror Story, the first season, about the murder house, was that if you died on the property of the murder house, your ghost was caught there for eternity. The other thing, and this is what one of the things he talked about that we don't even have time to talk about in depth, but is very cool, is when they opened the Animal Kingdom in Florida, tons of animals died because they had tried their best to create environments, especially for the felines, but a lot of the they could not survive in the extreme heat and humidity of Florida. So
Yeah, they're trying to recreate these
In a
natural
swamp.
habitats from
give it,
Africa in
like
Orlando.
try it first before you put people in there
Yeah.
and have them experience this traumatic experience.
I think that was it. Like they would have to literally try and drag off the carcasses of these animals.
And wasn't,
before
you know
the
what
next
we forgot to talk
safari
about
came
too,
through,
Shiloh?
which
Wasn't
is
there, just in the last couple of years, there was a baby eaten by a crocodile or an alligator,
the
right?
3-year-old
And it was on the property of the
Yeah,
hotels,
like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
like in front of the parents. They this, you know,
Right.
is it a croc or an alligator? It's an alligator.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there
it
was like a lagoon
swamp
on one of
area,
the
and
properties.
the kid walked off, or they weren't paying attention, or something.
Yeah. That blows my mind because I stayed at Animal Kingdom a couple of years ago, and you know the way they make it seem, I'm like, ooh, the giraffes are going to come up to my third floor, or floor giraffes, second floor balcony, and I'll be able to feed them. But no, I mean they have it's well gated. There's and I know those animals are supposed to be there as part of like the resort.
Oh, she froze.
Ruh-roh.
Well, Betty
Man.
just said something interesting, that she was impressed that they didn't sue. I think that's one of the issues, Betty, is that you know they may, if they feel that your case is merited, then they want to settle, but like it's not a lot of attorney.
Or they probably were going to point the finger back at them for being negligent parents and not watching their kids around. But then it's like that was the huge fight, was like, okay, well, if there's alligators there, why aren't there signs? And then it's just
Right.
the whole thing.
And I think the reality is that they're everywhere in that area. Like, and it wasn't even a swamp. I mean, this was sort of the lagoon area was sort of a man-made lake or something, but the alligator had taken up residence there.
Like there's that area like on Catella where the Honda Center is, and there's like 2 brick like cement walls, and in between it's just space. So like after a concert one time, a dude went to go like hop over it and didn't hop over it, and so then they had to put signs up because of that whole situation. But I mean, why do it when it's too late? Like come on. Never
underestimate the stupidity of the average human being. Like people just do dumb stuff. There have been gang fights. There was one man who was stabbed to death back in the 70s who this is something that Disneyland Parks really makes an effort now, is that they really work hard to break up and discourage any kind of gang activity, because this was, a guy was getting, sort of trading jabs with a group of teenagers, and I think he was a big military guy, and he went to confront one of the teenagers, and the teenager had pulled a knife on him and stabbed him in the abdomen. He bled out.
Wow.
So, yeah, Those things happen.
That story. Oh, Midway Mania. That's why. That's what's the name of the place. You called it something else, and I was like, "Why does it sound wrong?" And then
I called it like Toy Story or something because it's all the Toy Story characters, but it is Midway Mania.
Yeah, you called it something else, and I was like, "Wait, no, it's Midway." And I corrected you out loud verbally, and I was like, "No, that's not it."
Well, that's so funny that you said that because this listener that wrote us in, who was so cool, said that he was talking to us during that episode as well. So I think maybe it's maybe it is really Disney mania. We're all a little manic when we talk about Disney.
When you guys said Disney Christmas, because I have like this whole thing. I won't go into depth, but every year it always rains, and I always get my hot chocolate, and I always go on Small World, and it's the weirdest thing. The first time I go to Disneyland Christmas, does not matter either if it's and I've had it happen to me at Walt Disney World, like Walt Disney World too, and I just was like, oh no, I'm not gonna go this year. It sucks.
The gingerbread men that they sell at the Starbucks at Disneyland are amazing. I hate gingerbread, and they are the best things ever.
The gingerbread, all of it.
And the gorgeous. There's always a gingerbread house in in the Grand Hotel that is like
amazing.
It's just always incredibly impressive, like enormous chocolate sculpture and gingerbread. Oh, it's very sad.
I know. It looks like Mr. Alex is trying to get on.
Mr. Alex is coming in? Oh, cool. Oh, Adrian, I'm going through withdrawals with this closure. Dude, I completely agree with you. My partner Dan and I, like that's what, we're at a minimum of once a month people, and
they're not giving you refunds?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're not charging us for the annual pass thing,
or whatever.
Yeah, my annual. I have a pass to Universal Studios right now, and I pay monthly, and they're not charging. So
yeah.
All right.
Shannon, I tried to make a gingerbread house once, and I've never been more full of rage in my life. You have to be prepared. Yeah. It's like there's a whole thing that you're supposed to, like, it's not just like, oh, I've got some sugar and flour, I'll start it on it. Like, you have to have all the shit that turns it into edible glue. And
cool. Well, it's 8:00. I think that's all the stories that we had. And
well, let's all wish Dr. Shiloh a wonderful, restful night so she can enjoy the rest of her.
Bye,
and the beautiful ladies. Yes. Her backups.
My backup dancers.
Yes. It's totally Beyonce.
Oh my gosh. All right. Take care.
It's good seeing everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.